Hello, my name's John Paul. I'd like to share with you some referencing tips. Here's the plan. So this presentation is designed for undergraduates, but I'm hoping it might be useful for other people as well. The formatting style depends on what you're writing for and your university or whatever. So I'm going to be using Cite Them Right Harvard referencing style, but I'm hoping that you'll be able to adapt this to whatever context you're working in. And the referencing software I'm using is one that we have available here, which is RefWorks. But again, there are lots of different types of software for this, and use whatever you've got available. So I'm going to show you how I'd open RefWorks, then find a paper using Google Scholar, then how to import a citation of that paper into RefWorks, and then to export the citation list in the right format and paste that into a Word document. And then how to open Cite Them Right, and then how to check your reference list, and then how to edit a reference in RefWorks. I'm going to try and do this quite quickly, but I understand that I'll give you some tips at the end about where you could get more help if you wanted to go through this with somebody else. So first thing is getting RefWorks open. So I'm going to go over here, and at our institution you do that by going to the library and going to library search, and then you need to find databases and then click on R. Now I'm going to be using the new version of RefWorks. Now you should have an account for this, so you should be able to log on with your university username and password. So if I click next and then sign in, then I've opened up my RefWorks account, and you can see I use it for all sorts of other things. Now, going back to the plan for a second, I've got to find a paper using Google Scholar. Yeah, so I'm going to get Google Scholar up here, and I'm going to search for, I don't know, Reardon Hardman, and oh, that one looks interesting, do you see? So there's a reference I'm interested in. Actually, I don't need to open that up. Right, do you see the little inverted commas? You click on that, it shows you how you'd cite that, and again I'm using Harvard, but you'll notice this isn't exactly right for Cite Them Right Harvard referencing style. For example, the 2014 is not in brackets. You might think that's a minor detail, but actually academics can get quite hot under the collar about getting the referencing style right. And if you want to publish in a peer-reviewed journal or something, then you've got to use the referencing style of that journal. So what you're looking for is the RefWorks hyperlink at the bottom of that site. I'm going to click on that, and that takes me to this page. I'm going to click, don't ask me this again, because I always go to the new RefWorks. I click on that, and that imports the reference into Cite Them Right. When I press OK, it'll show me the last imported, which should be, if all's worked fine, how might educational research into children's ideas about light be of use to teachers. Now, at this point, say I want to export that straight away. So I'm going to click that, and I'm going to click something else. Effectiveness of virtual reality instruction on students' learning outcomes. How about that one as well? I'm going to export two references, but you can do this for as many as you want. Now, do you see the inverted commas again? This is for create a bibliography. Click on that, and I click create bibliography. I need to wait a moment, and then it should put those in the right format. Sorry about this, taking a little while. You notice that the format that I'm using is Cite Them Right Harvard. If you're using a different format, then just use the drop-down box to get where you want. Usually doesn't take this long. Okay, so then when the reference comes through, or the reference lists come through there, you copy to clipboard. Then you get your Word document open. And you paste it in. Now it'd be useful to know about you can either paste in using the keep source formatting or the merge formatting. The merge formatting is often more useful because you notice it means the formatting is the same as in the document you're pasting into, merges with that. If you just do the keep text formatting, do you notice you lose the italics on the journal article? So merge formatting is the best one to use. Okay, so I hope that's useful. I'm going back to my, so now we've done import the citation to reference work, export the reference list in the right format using Cite Them Right Harvard. I just want to mention that if you wanted to use a different export format, you can search for styles here. So you could use Harvard British Standard or APA, and it'll export whatever format you need. Okay, next thing is to open Cite Them Right. So in our place, to get them Cite Them Right, you click on the referencing tab, and then if you're on campus, you click Cite Them Right. Now, this will tell you the right format for anything that you might want to cite. So if I click on books here, for a printed book, it shows you exactly what should be there. Now, the useful bit in a way is the bit in the box here, because it tells you exactly where the full stops and the commas and the year of publication, what needs to be in italic, and also I also find the examples really useful because it shows you what it should look like in text and then what it should look like in the reference list at the end. So the reason I'm showing you that is that there's, you can't necessarily rely on Google Scholar to have all the right information in it in order to be able to export from RefWorks correctly. So you do actually have to proofread through your reference list really carefully. So if you click on journals, for example, journal articles, these would be another very, very common thing to have in your writing at this sort of level. Again, it gives you the box of what it should look like and gives you some examples of how you'd cite in text. And the other thing that's really useful on this is the basics. If you go to the basics and see things like, where's it gone? The section on plagiarism there. There's a bit somewhere about secondary referencing, which I found really useful. Yeah, how do I reference a source quoted in another author's work? Secondary referencing. So useful guidance in there. Okay. So then you check your reference list, and then say you needed to edit a reference in RefWorks, say it wasn't quite right and you wanted to export it again. So then you go back to reference, you go back to the reference here. If you just click on it, now I'm hoping I can move this window over a bit, yeah. Do you see, here's the reference. If I click on the edit thing, then I can edit, and if say the page numbers were wrong, I can change the page number to whatever I need and then save it, and then when I export it next time it should be right. Now, I hope something in that was useful. I'll be posting this up on YouTube, so if there's any comments or thoughts about this, please pop those in the comments underneath. I've done that quite quickly, and if you know that you might need a bit more help on going through some of those steps, I'd really, and you're at Canterbury Christ Church, I'd really encourage you to bear in mind this tab here, the Student Support tab, and the absolutely wonderful people who work in academic learning support here. And you can contact them through that link, and you can book, a half an hour for yourself to talk about anything you want as regards your writing. Lots and lots of students here use it and find it really helpful. So they'd help you going through your referencing if that was a challenge for you. You can also ask at the library or ask at the iZone, and they'd be able to help with things. And if you have IT problems that are causing you difficulties on this, iZone are really helpful in sorting those sorts of things out. Okay. Thank you, and bye.